me like, I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down.
Hey y'all, it's Caitlin, and it's been a while since we've done a craft on this channel, but here we go. I am taking this blind bag figure that I got last year or the year before last in my Vlogmas series, and I'm taking it and turning it into its Halloween counterpart. Basically. So this is the still I just showed you was from the Boo to You, I'm pretty sure is what it was called, special for Winnie the Pooh. I remember having this on VHS when I was a kid where he was dressed as a little bumblebee character, and so I want to turn this little blind bag figure and dress him up for Halloween. So here we go. So my very first initial idea was I was going to go ahead and paint the entire character, even though I didn't really need to. That was my initial plan. I didn't end up doing that, but that's why I'm sanding, essentially. One, we're going to be sculpting on top of this, on top of its head, on the body a little bit, on the back, and I wanted something for the clay to adhere to, but I was also going to paint the whole thing, which it's not necessary to sand for painting, but it doesn't hurt. And I just decided to try it this time. Honestly, I didn't see a difference in the painting that I was doing, but it does help with the sculpting, so there we go. So with his costume, he has 2 flower antennas for the bee, he's got 2 leaf wings, and he has a plunger as a stinger. So I am drilling into the head, basically I'm giving him a lobotomy, trying to make holes where I can put the wires to make those a little bit more stable, especially the antennas. They're going to be a lot more thinner and fragile, and I'd rather do that with wire than clay, and I broke my hand drill. To be fair, this is a very old hand drill, and that bit, when I last used it, maybe that's not where I broke it. I know I broke it at some point during this video, but it's been so long since I've used this, and the bit has been in it. Uh, like, I didn't take the bit out when I last used it, which is a no-no. So it might have gotten bent from me just throwing it around a little bit in my, there we go, in my little tool thing that I keep. So yeah, I had to get some pliers and get that out and restart with a different bit. So I got the new drill bit out and did all 5 of the holes, 2 for the head for the antennas, 2 for the back for the wing, and 1 in the butt for the plunger stinger. So here we go. We got some wire now. This is just some regular bendable wire that you can buy at any craft store, really. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I can always trim it after it's in there for if I need to. So just making sure it's not too short, but long enough. And I'm putting it in each of the pre-drilled holes that I made and adding a drop of super glue into it as well, and waiting for it all to dry. And I'm doing this for all 5 areas that I'm going to be sculpting on. Now, off camera, I did some cool stuff, and then I did a boo-boo. So you can see I already have some clay onto the wire basis. I just put a little bit on it to just be a little extra secure. The wires, anyway, sometimes the glue can come loose if you pull just right enough, so I didn't want that to be a risk. So I went ahead and put some clay there, and I am using epoxy sculpt. This is a mixture, AB mixture. You put it together, mix it together, equal parts. It hardens as a rock and it adheres to whatever it is you're putting on, and it's air dry. So I can't put this plastic figure in the oven, so gotta go the air dry route. So I'm sculpting the leaves, starting with here, and I'm trying to make them leaf shape. I had to put Pooh Bear onto some uh, things on either side of him so he wouldn't like drift away from me. But using my X-Acto knife, I'm trying to trim away a little bit of it, make it a little bit more leaf-like. Again, I'll end up putting some more detail in it in a little bit. But my boo-boo here was the fact that I glued Pooh Bear onto his base as well. Um, yeah, that got in the way so much to the point where I did try to rip it off, and of course that's where the glue held. So do not glue it onto the base until you are fully done sculpting it, please. But you can see I'm just cutting away a little bit of the base, trying to make it a little bit more leaf-like at the base of it, and trying to thin it out towards the edges just a little bit to give it a bit more leaf texture to it. Once the leaf is sculpted, I'm getting my dotting tool and putting some veins into the leaf. It doesn't have to look perfect. I'm just, again, trying to make it look a little bit more leaf-like. Um, so I'm just using a very thin dotting tool and putting the veins in the leaves on each side of the wing. This is when I found out the base was an issue. Trying to sculpt that little plunger on his butt. That was a bitch to do just because I was dumb and did it and glued it on there. But anyway, I just start with a little dollop of the clay around it to make the head of the plunger, trying to smooth it down as much as possible to make it look rounded. Uh, I don't know. At some point, it was looking a little bit prolapsed, but I tried. Yeah, I tried. You try sculpting a plunger onto a character's ass and not make it look prolapsed. You try it. I dare you. And I tried to use the dotting tool to go around it to make it look a little bit like the lip of the plunger. I don't know how well that worked. Um, but I tried it. I did end up shortening this because it was just way too long. I still think it ended up in the end result. I think it was I made it too long. Um, but regardless, here I am trying to make the handle of it. And I forgot to mention before, but you probably noticed those little puddles of clay on the base. I had some access clay when I was securing the wires, so I just decided to put it down and make it look like his honey got spilt. Uh, so that's what that is. So putting that on there, and then can't see crap because of the angle, but I'm trying to shorten it, but it's still a little bit too long in the end. And here you can see I'm using the not sharp side of my blade and just running it down the handle to make it look a little bit more wood grainy. Just giving it a little bit more texture to make it look a little bit like wood. But yeah, you can see it's still way too long for what it is, but it's mine. I don't care. So you can't really see it that well, so I didn't really put it in because my hand's blocking it. But to make the flowers for his antennas, basically what I did, I took nearly like a little dollop of clay, like a little oval shape, little ball, and flattened one side of it and gently pinched it with my fingers to make it a little bit uneven. Like I don't want it to look perfectly round, like a flower isn't perfectly round. And then I took that toothbrush that I only use for clay and gave it a little bit of texture on the top and then just stuck it in, and then I repeated it with the opposite flower. And I don't know if I've said yet, but I know I haven't said this part yet. When you're working with this clay, it helps to use silicone tools and it helps to use your finger, actually. Sometimes your hands are your best sculpting tool, regardless of how many you have in your arsenal. But a little bit of water will help smooth out all the cracks and crevices that is created by this stuff when you're sculpting with it. It's very easy to work with. But you will see I'm using gloves for a reason. I've seen other people say that they've tried using it without gloves and it severely dried out their hands. So please be safe, use gloves. So you guys tell me if you just genuinely want footage of me painting, because I think that's the more boring part of it, where I'm just like explaining the colors and stuff. But anyway, you can see where I did like a two-tone for the leaves to make it look a little bit more lifelike. And you can see I'm showing you each and every color I'm using. I'm using that melted chocolate color for the headband, this lighter color green, and this darker green for the leaf. I used this orange for the honey pot because I'm going to make it look like a jack-o'-lantern. So there. On to the second stage of painting. I used more of that green. I went ahead and painted the stem of it, the little wires on there. We painted the little flowers, that's pale yellow color to match almost what's in there. I had to repaint the shirt because of the clay that was on the back, and I also painted the head of the plunger. Used that pale yellow color for the stripes on the honeybee costume. Not as many stripes as in the original one, but yeah, you get the idea. It's a bumblebee. I used this very old yellow paint that's liquidy as hell for the honey. It's the perfect honey color. Honestly, it is. And then this chestnut one, I didn't do it here, but it's for the handle on the plunger. And then I used black and repainted the face just a little bit from where I sanded some of it off, including that damn brown nose. I don't know why the original figure had a brown nose, but there we go. Okay, and so pretty much for the last of it, again, I painted that handle with the chestnut that I used. Don't know why I showed the chestnut off twice, but whatever. I painted the base black to be a little bit more Halloween-y. He's got some purple buttons holding up the costume in the picture, so there we go. We used that little purple and painted on those little strings with the black, and then I painted a little jack-o'-lantern face on his honey pot. So here is the reference picture, and here is the figure. How do you guys think I did? I think I did fairly good. Again, the handle is a little bit too long. I do think the wings are still a little bit too bulky to be leaves. But honestly, for not having done a custom figure in a while for me, I think I did pretty good. Let me know if y'all saw this special back in the day. Maybe you're watching it on Disney Plus this year. Who knows? But let me know what you guys think. This now proudly sits on my Halloween display. I don't know whether I'm going to put this video out before or after the Halloween decor tour. But yeah, let me know. Let me know what your favorite Halloween special was as a kid. Because fully honest, had I had an Alvin and the Chipmunks figure, I might have made that little werewolf Alvin from Alvin Meets a Werewolf. Because I really like that one too. But this one was really up there for me as well. But let me know what your favorite one was. And remember, like always, y'all, it's a community, not a competition. I'll see y'all later. Bye.